So today we got our first band of the year, and the deeper we get into this snow goose season, the fewer and fewer bands that we get, and the older and older the birds are that we get that are banded. So kind of do a recap. The best year we ever had in bands was 2007. It's on my website, and I kind of going from memory here, but it was something like 25 lake bands. I want to say like 7 neck collars and 2 Tarsus bands is what we got that year. Back then, it used to be almost like clockwork. One band for every 250 to 300 snow geese we shot, and a neck collar about every 1,500 birds. It was a little better than that year. We just got lucky and shot a lot of bands that year. But these days, the last number of years, it was, we're getting just a handful of bands, a fraction of what we used to. It's like one band for every 1,500 snow geese, and I don't really remember when the last time we shot a neck collar was. It's been a pretty big drought on neck collars. You just don't even see them anymore. You used to see them fairly regular when you were at the refuges and glassing them, but I just don't see them like we used to. But anyway, so this bird that was shot was a snow goose. It was banded in 2009 as an adult, which puts it at least 13 years old. Now, a lot of you guys might be thinking that 13-year-old bird is an old bird, which it is, but back in the early days of this conservation order, if you got a band that was 8 years old or 9 years old, that was an old bird. It was rare. It was really rare to get one that was older than that. Probably some of it had to do with they were banding, trying to get information on the birds. I'm assuming that's probably part of it. But now, I don't hardly ever get a banded bird that is under 8 years old. I mean, it is over 8, most of the time over 10. That 10 to 15 year range seems to be a pretty where most of them fall into right now. Oh, so you either get those or you get juvies. And myself and another friend of mine that outfits as well, we've kind of been looking for that magic age, like something that was banded as a juvie and is 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, somewhere in that range. We got one that was like 3 years old and 5 years old, but that was put on a bird that was an adult. And so who knows, that bird could be 10, 15, 20 years old when it gets a band put on it. There's just no way to tell. So the bands have changed, and the age group is getting a lot tougher. I would be very interested if any of you guys have shot a banded bird in the last couple 3 years that is, in that 3 to 8 year range. Give us a shout and let us know. I'd be interested to see how many of you guys are actually getting birds that are in that age class, because I haven't got one, and another outfitter that I know hasn't got one, and we've been keeping pretty good track, and it's thousands of birds that get shot in the spring season between the two of us, and it's not a ton of bands. Like I said, you just don't get that many bands anymore. But neither one of us have got one in that, we call it the magic age range. So